I think it'll tell us. I think we're live. All right, guys. Hey, hi there, everyone. This is Coach Mike Basevic, founder and creator of the Anxiety Free Executive and the Anxiety Free Student Program. And this is going to be a very special live because I am with three really amazing people, our coaching team and the people behind the scenes that you don't meet unless you get in, unless you're in the program, right? And after you meet them today, you're going to want to get in the program. You're going to say, man, how can I live without these three amazing people? So happy to be and blessed to be with them today and blessed to have them on this amazing team that we have at No Limits and Anxiety Free Executive. So first, our director of coaching, Doreen Banisek. Hi, Doreen. You haven't been live in this group much, have you? Over the years?
No, I haven't. So I'm excited. This should be fun.
It'll be fun. Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff today. And we've got Coach Angie Horton, who lives in Northern California and the mountains. And Angie, you're shrinking. You're losing weight, aren't you? You're getting smaller every time I see you.
I am. Thanks.
Pretty soon you're going to be in negative numbers. So hi, Angie. And Angie has been with us. How long have you been with us now, Angie? From the coaching standpoint, you've been in the community for years.
Yep, in the community for years. Been a coach for the Anxiety Free Executive for the last 4 months.
And you're doing awesome. And then there's Coach Kate Schumacher, who's in Wisconsin.
Sure am.
How's the weather up there?
Beautiful.
All right. And Coach Kate has been in the community for many, many years, and she joined our coaching team last year. And I can tell you guys, when I say, you always as somebody who does what we do, you bring in clients and you want to make sure that we get everyone healthy and we guarantee our results with people. And it's so important that we get the people that we promise to get healthy, and we move on. And I can promise you wholeheartedly that I never, when a client's with any one of these three people and not with me, I'm like, no, they're handled. That's perfect. I know they're in good hands. I never have to worry about it. So we are blessed to have everyone. So, all right, guys, good to be here. And Doreen, you're in Massachusetts, huh? So
yes.
Yeah, and I played golf with my friend from Boston on Sunday, and he said it's been cold up there. And he goes, yeah, he said not golf season yet, and that's what we worry about. So that's why I talk about the weather, because if you can't golf, what's the point of being in the city? All right, as I'm down in Florida. All right, let's talk the mind. Let's talk fun. Let's talk. Let's answer any questions now. The StreamYard thing. I've only done this a few times. In fact, Kate, you and I did a StreamYard in this group a while back last year, I think, about a year ago. But I don't know if I could see questions. So let's see here. I don't know. We haven't used it. And it's funny because if you saw the notice that was put up when I have to create the live. So Ashley our admin, tried to do it, and she couldn't do it in her account because it has to be done through my StreamYard into my account. But then StreamYard took a picture of Kelly and I from my profile pic, I think, on Facebook. There, we can see there. And she just commented, so we could see it. And it was a picture of Kelly and I. And I looked at the post, the notice, and it said, "Oh, Kelly and I are going live in the Anxiety Free Executive." But Kelly and I wouldn't go live in the Anxiety Free Executive, but it looked like we were going live. So we've got to figure out a way how to get our picture on there when we're going live, so they know what they're doing. So, all right, let's talk behavior. Let's talk peak performance. Let's talk mental health. Let's talk anxiety, stress, overwhelm, pressure, depression, where people are when they come to us and where people are at the end of 8 weeks. And if you have questions, we're here for you. And we'll be happy to answer anything you have. And I really want to introduce the team to you too, because our team here, who are going to be coming live occasionally in this group, they're amazing, amazing people. So let's start there. So let's start with you, Doreen. And what got you into this type of work? And you and I have known each other a long time now, and so probably 16, 17 years now or something, or 50. I don't know. So it's been a while. And and so we've watched each other grow and just learn this work. And then we connected several years ago now, and you've been part of our amazing team and a key part of our amazing team for many years now. So what got you into this work, and how did you start doing what you're doing?
Well, I started where everybody else starts, with trying to figure themselves out. Went through a stage of being very unhappy, experiencing panic for the first time and anxiety for the first time, which I'd never experienced. Just a kind of a low level depression, and I just wanted to figure out what I thought was wrong with me. And so that just dove me into a lot of personal development work, things like that. And what I realized was, as much as I threw myself into all this work, I wasn't getting like the ultimate result, the ultimate result, which was for me to be okay with myself, for me to be okay with my world, to live in that type of freedom. I just wasn't getting it. And so, the journey has really been just probably starting out with where a lot of people are on in this group, on their journey. They're just trying to figure it out and wondering why they didn't learn about themselves when they were young and why they don't know themselves so well at this stage of the game. Mm-hmm. And through a lot of learning and a lot of work and, coming to this work, it just changed everything. And I can honestly say that, Mike, you knew me when you from way back when. I'm a completely different person, as are you,
Yeah.
And to
you were on the receiving end of a lot of my stories before I had a good diet for the mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it really just started with my own desire to figure myself out and to be happy. Just wasn't happy. Yeah. And now I can honestly say I'm happy most of the time. Are there things I work on? Absolutely. But it was just looking for that. The search finally ended for me. And that was what was really powerful.
Yeah. And I love that. And we're always work in progress, aren't we? And like you said, we're doing a challenge with our clients that came to our live event in Naples, and Kate, Angie, Doreen, and I are writing the challenge. We've got accountability partners right along with all of our clients and we're doing the work with them. And we're completely transforming like any limiting beliefs we have. And it's been a fun, rewarding, powerful process. But people come into your life, guys, that they impact you. The first time you meet your significant other. And hey, Lisa D, I don't know what she said. Yes, you are. Probably to say I'm work in progress, but or maybe that we committed to the process. But it's like when you meet your significant other, right, or when you meet a really good friend, you can't live it out. I remember meeting Doreen for the first, and just connecting with Doreen for the first time, and like, okay, this is going to be an impactful person in my life. This is going to be, and I didn't know, we always talk about, the end will force the means, right, and focus on the end. And I didn't know the impact of our meeting, us meeting each other, but it was meant for this. We both had our stuff going on back then, and Doreen was coaching, and I was figuring things out, and we were both trying to figure life out, but it was like, boom, there's that connection that was so important. It had to happen, and it was on a fluke. I was looking for somebody else when I found Doreen. I was looking for an author of a book that passed away, because when I read a book, I wanted to know more. So I would contact the publisher, get their home number, and call them. And I called, and the woman had passed away, and I loved the book. And I said, wow, man. She goes, well, there's this woman that runs this book club, and she's writing a follow-up. I'm like, hey, give me your number. And then it was just important. But then as things evolve, and you can't see as you're going through it, but the dots are connecting perfectly, like, this quote from Steve Jobs. And it was all meant for this, and the impact of our work, because Doreen and I are just the conduit, and so Kate and Angie, to get people to where we know we can get them, but we're just giving them information on how the mind works and getting them to their true self. And so the impact of Doreen and I meeting in the mid-aughts, what is that they call it, the aughts, the 2000s, like 5 or 6, whatever it was meant for all this, and it was so much fun. And who knows what it's meant for in the future, but it's been a hell of a ride. So, and I'm glad, Doreen, that I called that publisher and got your number. And really cool stuff. Yeah. All right, Kate. All right, over to you. So you came into our community as a client a few years ago, so I know how you found us. And man, did you just glob onto this work and make it your life? So what got you to us, and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad the stars aligned and the two of you met and this came about, because when I was searching for something, I was searching for an answer because I had tried everything. And I was a pretty big skeptic because I just was fed up, and I was living in anxiety and not feeling myself, feeling like an imposter in my own life. Like I was faking everything. I didn't feel authentic. I just didn't feel like I could relax into myself. And I think, I just had developed some mental habits that just ran off on me. And I tried a lot of things, everything I could think of. And I remember laying in bed one night, just praying for an answer. And the typical distract myself, scroll through Facebook, I saw the master class and I listened to it. And that night I got done listening to it at 11 p.m. and I signed up for a breakthrough call for the very next morning at 8 a.m. because I knew if I didn't do that, I would talk myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was afraid of everything. I was living in so much fear, and I was a mom of two, a corporate executive, by all practical means from the outside, shouldn't have anything to really complain about, right? I was successful from an external standpoint, but inside I was just a shell. I wasn't even connected with myself. And I knew that wasn't how I couldn't do the next 20, 30, 40 plus years like that. I was done. And so, then I signed up as a client and committed to the 8-week program, and then signed on for the year after that in the accountability group. And then decided I would love to become a coach because it has helped me so much. I just want to give back to our community and our clients. And this is the most meaningful work there is, because to see people live in authenticity, to be themselves and to be confident and have life flowing and be back in their power. We really are creators in our lives. And I had lost all creativity, all hope. I remember telling the breakthrough coach that I thought that happiness was the illusion and that we were just here to suffer. That was where I was at. And that's not true whatsoever. And now that I'm living my best life and it just keeps getting better. I mean, I'm so grateful for this work that I'll be a forever student of it. And coaching in this area has been so rewarding. So really grateful.
I love that. And you mentioned something really important. And I love your beautiful testimonial you did a few years ago, way before you were a coach. And when you said that line that everything I wanted in my life was behind this glass door, that I couldn't get to. I could see it, but I had no idea how to get there. And you said happiness is the illusion. And that's the way we're trained in this world. And we're going to talk about the mind today. But man, we are conditioned to believe that we're not supposed to be happy. Right? If we walked into a room together and I was all upbeat and man, I'm meeting some new people, so life is great, they'd think I was a weirdo. Right? You're not supposed to go through that that way. You're supposed to go afraid. We're not supposed to be happy. We're selfish if we're happy. And that's the way we're trained. And that's the way, when you keep people down, right? I always say, man, that we are born into beauty, greatness, abundance, and we're conditioned into misery, mediocrity. Right? Struggle. And that's the way it is in this world, right? We are conditioned to struggle. We are conditioned. So when you're happiness is the illusion. And what do people do, man? Right? You guys, throw the things out. What do? They exercise. They try to be happy. They buy things. They try to be happy. They think when they get the spouse, when they get the money, when they get the career, when they get the, take the trip, then it's time to be happy, right? Is there any other, what else do people do to try to be happy?
I just stayed so busy. I couldn't think about how unhappy I was. It was a life of distraction. And I was constantly chasing the wheel.
Yeah, they call it compartmentalizing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then you say, oh, so busy. I've got to just, and that's, I thrive under that. Doreen, what else do people do?
Well, they go for treks to the Himalayas. They light candles in dark rooms. They do all sorts of things.
Listen to music, right? They go to the beach, which the beach is beautiful. I love the beach, but and all those things are great. But no, we teach people in our program not only the truth of abundance is our birthright, abundance of happiness, abundance of love, abundance of finances or freedom, abundance of joy, abundance of pleasure. That's our birthright. But then we show them how to get there. Mm-hmm. And Kate, happiness is after going through, and of course, Doreen puts you guys through that rigorous. Seriously, it's not an easy certification process that she puts you guys through, and we're always communicating and helping you. But I know that you guys went through an extensive training program to become a coach. But can you honestly say that happiness is the illusion, or is it your birthright?
It is absolutely your birthright, and it is who we really are. And everything else is the illusion that we've just learned and made habitual over time. And once you learn these tools that we take our clients through, it's incredible how your life can change in a very short time, and that it's just the beginning. And to see that unfolding in our clients is just beautiful. And I've experienced it myself. It's just forever grateful.
Awesome. We're grateful to have you. And then we're going to go to Angie in a second. But before we do that, there's a woman that posted, and I haven't had time to respond yet, and I will, because I see all the posts in our group. But she said, that she's been told, and we're told that we have a chemical imbalance, right? When we're dealing with anxiety or stress or ADHD that they call it, it's just lack of focus. That's extreme anxiety or fears or panic disorder. They say that we're born with a chemical imbalance, that we have something wrong with us. Well, that story has been told from our, billion-dollar prescription drug companies. And if anyone hasn't watched it, okay, Dope Sick, find it on Hulu, watch it. And if you think that these prescription drug companies, it's a true story that took place in the mid-2000s when it came to OxyContin, which they used to give for anxiety, depression, pain, whatever. It's tragic, the lives they've ruined. 500,000 people died as a result of taking that drug that they lied about. And they're in a profit-making business, and they want you to think that you have a chemical imbalance and it's not solvable. But I could tell you this, guys, any emotional thing that you're experiencing, we're talking a little bit about today, is a byproduct of everything you've been through, pure and simple. And therapists will tell you that, anyone that you ever go to. But what we've unlocked is the ability to get you out of that, to essentially reprogram, recondition, retrain the mind, and get rid of the viruses that are running in your subconscious from those emotional events. So no, you're not hardwired. You're conditioned. Is it hereditary? Sure. If, excuse my language, if dad was a shit show, you're probably going to be a shit show too. If mom was a train wreck, you might be a train wreck too, right? If you grew up in a family that was fighting and yelling and screaming or put a lot of pressure on you, then you're going to probably feel the effects of that. So yes, it's hereditary, because your parents were your parents' parents and their parents' parents, and so on and so on. What was that commercial, right? When you tell someone and we tell one, and so on and so on. That's what we are, guys. So that's how the mind works. We've just happened to tap into that stuff. And it's funny because when we talk about nothing happens by accident, and it's so good that things happen the way they are, there are no accidents, right? And we teach people that. But I was thinking when Doreen said something, I thought, I remember, I sent an SOS to Doreen about, 6 years ago, whatever it was. And she kept popping into my head. And this is how beautifully magical this world is. And I hadn't talked to Doreen for a couple of years at that point. And I'm like, man, Doreen keeps popping in my head. I wonder what she's doing. And that was my call her, text her. And I text her, hey, how you doing? What have you been up to? And she told me she's been up to this and that. And I said, hey, I got something going on here. I think I need your help. I think I need I think you need to be involved with this. And because I was swamped, and I was like, hey, and she, yeah, let's jump on a call. And it was perfect. And it was all stemmed from that first meeting, I believe, way back when. And so when you learn to understand what this is and understand how to use the mind, it's really powerful. So hi, Ange.
Hello.
All right. So Ange, what brought you to us? And then maybe follow it up with, some of the, your takeaways on the work, or even the stuff you're doing now with changing people's lives. So give us a little of your story.
Sure. So yes, I came to this group. I found you guys about 4 years ago. Struggle, anxiety, depression, things that, surprisingly enough, are predominant in our society, right, CM?
Oh, yeah.
Because of the BS that we tell ourselves. Yeah, but much like Kate, I tried everything: meditation, medication, yoga, exercise, diet, cutting out caffeine, you name it. Nothing had, fixed me. And then I found this program, and I really realized I didn't need to be fixed. I just needed to learn that my prolonged ways of thinking, my beliefs were a little skewed. So through this work, through the program, the 8 weeks program, I came from being afraid to go out socially, drive on the freeways. Work was a stress. Everything was a stress. Actually, I should say what was not a stress, to flow, ease, happiness, just understanding completely, and then applying those principles. I still to this day, every day, apply the principles that I learned through this program. And then luckily for me, I became a part of this team about 1.5 years ago. and a different avenue. And at that time, we've been growing and expanding, and Coach Mike and Coach Doreen are looking for, some people to join the coaching team. And I raised my hand, me, please, please. But I was working full time as well. And the coaching development, the training was just underway. And like you said before, CM, Doreen and you developed this program to be intense, but yet with a lot of support from you guys. So it was a good program. I mean, it took some time. It took some knowledge. We had practice calls. We had, building up to getting on live calls with clients, but we'd already gone through the program. So Kate, would you agree? We became masters in this program and this work. And now to be able to teach it on the other side is just given us such wonderful blessings to share with other people.
Most definitely. It's really come full circle. And again, being a student of the work and coaching at the same time is just the best of everything.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, Ange. And I did your breakthrough call. I didn't do Kate's breakthrough call, but I remember getting the message from Ryan, who did do Kate's breakthrough call. And he said, Coach, you're going to love this girl, this new client. She's a rock star. And he was right. I remember the day. And Ange, I remember the day that I did your breakthrough call. I was sitting at the island in my kitchen because it was a beautiful spring day. So it had to be April, Mayish. Is that when you enrolled? And I remember it was a beautiful spring day, and I wanted to go by the back of the house so I can see the sunshine more because it was that time of day. And I did it at the island in our kitchen. And I remember enrolling. And were you scared? Were you skeptical? Like a lot of people, like you said, and the people in this group, they've tried everything. So were you scared, skeptical?
I just kept thinking, why not? Why not? You've tried everything else. Why not give it one more shot? And I had lost my father recently to that. And I thought, my dad had experienced anxiety, had struggled with that, my mother as well. And I kept thinking, my father would want me to do this. My father would want me to do this. So I pretty much jumped in head first, just give it to me. And I loved what I saw.
Well, you were a rock star too. I mean, you came in and you were serious, and you still are. I mean, I call you the record, like you one of your many great gifts is you like retain it for like, you'll listen to something and you'll retain it. And it was like really evident, like you were going through the program and you were listening to the modules and you were like getting on the calls, like ready to roll and expanding, even though I learned a year after your 8-week call that I really pissed you off on the 8-week call. I gave you some tough love but I think you said, it was sort of what I needed at that point. And we were told today that one of our clients was who the heck told Angie that she gave the tough love, and it it usually comes from me, but somebody said no. It was Kelly told a story. We get a chance to meet our clients whenever I'm in a city with any of our clients there. I make it a point to try to meet them. I love meeting them if I haven't met them in person at a live event. So we met Emily, who came through our program, and we had dinner with her, Kelly and I with her family last week. And so Kelly said, Coach Mike's known a little bit for his tough love calls when people need it. And she goes, I never had a tough love call with him. And it was great, but I did with Angie. And I thought, that's awesome, man. I said, that's good. And so maybe a year from now at a live event, you're going to hear about that. And like I did at dinner in front of your husband, who's probably tougher than me. But anyway, so, it's great though, guys, that, all of us have been through our shit. We've all been through hell. Emotional, mental, financial, overwhelm, chaos in our life, and I think it helps people. Like if we stood up there and just said, we're perfect. We're always perfect. We've never made a mistake. And we've always had these perfect lives. Well, who's going to relate to that? Right. If I want to go to something like this, or if I want to know someone who's been there, done it, and that can get me out of it. And I believe, as you guys know, vendors, partners, anyone that we're going to use for this business, I hire nothing but the best, right? You guys see that part. And if somebody's not, the best, I find the best. And that's what I want to partner with. So if I've got a problem to solve in this world, I'm going to find the best. If I have to have surgery, I haven't, but I'm going to find the best. I'm not going to go look for I want the expert. And I think what's so beautiful about this program is that, yes, it's, and we give a money back guarantee, by the way, but it is foolproof. It has to work. The only way it won't work if somebody doesn't commit to it. And it is the best, but we've all been through our stuff. And so when somebody gets on the call, Kate, and says, yeah, I can't even see straight at work. I've got brain fog. I'm overwhelmed. I'm surviving every day. Kate's like, yeah, check. I've been there. Get it. Get you out of that. Right. And somebody's got that fear of flying or fear of whatever. Yeah. Okay. I've had it. Let me get you through it. Right. Doreen, you and I, the relationship drama, the overwhelm, the entrepreneurial lack, like where's the money going to come from? Right. And we've been there. We've done it. The breakups, the discarding in a relationship. I'm looking for the right word, but anyway, so we've been there, done that. So good. So it's good to meet the team. For those of you that don't know behind the scenes, who's doing all this amazing work now, you do. So let's talk about the mind. So Doreen, I guess in a few paragraphs, few sentences, whatever, how would you describe the power of the mind? And the mind and the brain, I like to describe as two different things. The brain is that switching station. The mind is the communications hub that is really tied in. As we're our bodies, science teaches all a bunch of electrical currents, right? So it's always communicating, right? You can have a pain in your cheek and it can hit you, or you can press this and feel it here. The body is one big communication device with the mind, and the mind is the emotional core. But when we talk about the power of the mind, Doreen, how would you describe the power of the mind, or at least the potential of the human mind, and when people tap into that, what it could mean for them?
Yeah, to me, the power of the mind is infinite. I equate it to, people talk about source or God or universe or universal energy. It is what, in essence, created all of this. And since it created us, we're a part of it. And when we tap into it, instead of our, on the other side of it, the ego mind, the personality, we just have so much more vast capabilities, information, solutions, connection, all the states of being we want to experience, all these states of being we're chasing, love, connection, wealth, abundance, success, they're all available to us. We're just so focused over here on our physical and our personality, we don't even realize we're connected to this amazing thing. We might think of this amazing thing as something outside of us. But what you learn in this work is it's never further away than you. It's always there. And we say a lot, you can't fool it, because it is you in essence. And so tapping into that power, that's what we're meant to experience. I also equate it to heaven on earth. Everybody talks about heaven on earth. Heaven is not a physical place. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. Right. And that's what this universal mind is. And then it translates into the brain as thoughts, and then into the mouth as words, and then into the body as feelings. And so when we're tapped into it, we're just, the access is so amazing. Just think of any inventor. Think of any person we would consider a genius. Mozart. It wasn't coming from his brain. It was coming from the mind, this universal powerhouse.
Isn't that great? And that was beautiful. That was wonderful. And that's so well stated. You and I have discussed this, like when we share this work, even at a live event, and we'll say something like, wow, really profound or really great. And then maybe later look at you, I don't know where that came from. Right? So that moment, right? It's like, the story about the mom lifting the car off the child, right? And finding the strength to do that. And I've had so many of those moments like, nah, that wasn't me. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that Facebook Live came from. I don't know where that chapter in the book came from. I don't know, but I'm sure glad I was the conduit to deliver it, right? And there's just such a more powerful force in being able to access that, right? I mean, we're, the name of the company is No Limits for a reason, right? And this is you guys, if it's the last live event, you guys all got a unicorn, a No Limits unicorn, right? And you got your unicorn handy. It's fun, isn't it? So my unicorn sits there every day, but the No Limits, it really is. I mean, we look at our lives. I know Doreen and I, and you guys are experiencing it, but where I was 20 years ago to where I am now, it's like, wow, I've got the same kids who I love. I'm going to keep them around, I hope. And as long as they'll have me, but I've got some of the same friends. I don't think I have any of the same shirts, maybe a couple, but I've got a whole new life. And I've done so many more things that I had ever dreamt of, whatever you want to say. But, and I just feel it's just the beginning. It's like, man, I'm just getting started. And it's fun because now, like, I don't look at it anymore like can I accomplish that? I look at it as a choice, right, Doreen? Like you said, it's like it's just a choice. Like, yeah, I'm going to have this now, and I've got the exact tools on how to get there. I've just got to commit to getting there. So on that line, Ange, talk about that commitment piece, right? Because we've got the stuff, with the mind, and we've got, the motivational quotes and the positive thinking, and people love watching those 4 or 5 minute, clips on YouTube to get them pumped up. And if the team, if Ashley and Christian and all, the folks just posted great quotes every day, man, or great motivational pictures, they get likes all the time. But what's the difference between, that and then really being committed to something like this, or committed to your goals, or committed to the outcome you want, Ange? What would you say some of the differences are?
Well, I would say, first of all, you have to make a decision. And the decision being that whatever commitment piece you're going to take on, whether it's, enrolling in a program such as this or whatever it is, you've got to be committed 100%. We talk about that. We talk about commitment as a prerequisite to even get into this program, because the mind sometimes is going to tell you things that you're going to believe, but it's not true. It's what you've thought for a very long time. And we're going to teach you how to change those thought patterns. And so the commitment is second to none. I mean, what do we say? Second to breathing. This is the most important thing that you'll ever do. And the difference here is when you get involved with something, whether it's positive thinking, inspirational reading, meditation, you go in with great intentions. But without that coach, without that accountability person that's going to be there for you every step of the way, who's going to be talking to you, who's going to maybe be giving you a little kick in the pants, a little tough love, encouragement, and always taking you back to this work, I learned I couldn't do it by myself. I needed somebody, an expert in the field, to work with me through it. So the commitment piece is so important. The mind will say, yeah, I want to do this, or I need to do this, or life would be better if I did this. But if you're not committed, then you're not going to do it. And a lot of times the mind doesn't let you stay committed. So that's where I see what the difference is. People need someone to help them stay on track.
It's huge.
And that's what we do.
Well, you said 3 key things there, a lot of things, but 3 really key things. The decision. Everything in life that you've accomplished starts with a decision, period, end of story. So you decide to have the marriage, you decide to have the house, you decide to get in this career, you decide to play the sport you play, decide to what you eat every day, but you make a decision. And if you decide to have it and you commit to it, you're going to have it. And then the commitment piece, like you said, you have the best intentions. I want to accomplish this. I know I need to, solve this problem. I know I need to be happier. I know I need to take better care of myself. I know I want to be a better partner, better husband, better wife, better whatever. And, but the state of being conditions us. It's conditioned, throughout our life. But the state of being is a funny way of dictating our behavior, doesn't it? And we can have the best intentions, but if the mind is in a state of being that isn't in harmony with what we want, we're never going to get it. Okay. And then you mentioned that accountability piece. I knew that. And that's why I said, to this day, I hire the best of the best. I learn what I need to learn, and I do what I need to do as far as our business goes, but I hire the best because I want the best, because we've got the best program in the world. So we've got to have the best partners in the world, the best knowledge in the world. And I know I can't do it myself. And so you made some very good points there about deciding, committing, and accountability. So good stuff. And Kate, talk about that state of being a little bit. So,
Sure.
How powerful is that mind when it's in a certain state of being, or just talk about the state of being in general and
Sure.
how it plays in your life or anyone's life.
So the state of being is an incredible thing because we're always experiencing a form of state of being. And the state of being is what creates everything. It creates our thoughts. It creates our beliefs. It creates our experiences. It creates our habits, right? And when we are aware of the state of being, so much of this work is about awareness and about deciding on a state of being and deciding that we're going to create from a new place, because the old place was where that pain and suffering and some of that anguish was, because we were just unconsciously in a state of being that was causing that. And when we learn about the state of being and how this is doing all of the creating for us, when we tap into that and we move in the direction of the state of being that creates what we want in life, that's everything. And that's really stepping back into our power in full alignment with what Doreen was talking about with infinite intelligence. And we are all natural creators. We've just been unconscious about it. So when we have that awareness and we understand how the state of being works, and we're always in one, you are always in a state of being, and everything that's resulting in your life and in your experiences is coming from that, because we are vibrational. So whatever our state of being is, it's attracting to us like events, like experiences, people, scenarios. So when you get in the business of knowing and understanding this and working with the state of being, you're creating the life that you want. You're becoming what your vision is for yourself. And it is the most invigorating, powerful thing. And synchronicities and alignment happens with where you want to be as you work with this very powerful thing. So it is no longer about what's going on outside of us. I used to blame my anxiety and all of these things on all of those external events. And I didn't even know that I was creating each and every single one of them with my state of being.
Yes.
So it's an incredible thing to know and to understand and to work with.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had anxiety. It was just a mess. I was a mess. That's the only way I can describe it. And when people learn what you just said there about the state of being creating, look at your mind. You know, like you don't wake up with thoughts, gee, I hope I have anxiety tomorrow morning, right? In fact, the opposite. I hope I don't. Mm-hmm. And when people do, or just chaos, like, you know, you see people in life, just look at your Facebook feed. And you've got certain people who always have this week's drama going on, right? Whether it's political or whether it's, you know, the flat tire this week, the roof leak the next week, the kid breaking something the following week, or the ankle sprain or whatever. And it's not an accident. And that's what we know. Like people think, oh, I've had bad luck, good luck. Okay, we know that everything that we're experiencing internally, emotions, thoughts, actions, inactions are a byproduct of our subconscious mind. It drives 95% of our behavior. But like you said, it also attracts. So the state of being emits a frequency through thinking, through words, through beliefs, through actions, through emotions, actions, but it also attracts back. Mm-hmm. So, and I used to say the best example is kids sports. When I used to coach kids sports, you always saw the parents that would connect. The happy, supportive parents would be in one crew, and then the two or three that would just complain and be miserable, they'd hang out together. And it's funny. You can see that in any, you can see it in work. You can see it, right? You can see it even in sports, right? How certain players come together and other players that might be attracted to each other. So that's just in life, guys. There's a law out there and it's powerful. And what we've learned to do is tap into that law. Mm-hmm. And then we can, you know, we could take it in any direction we want. I always use the analogy with our clients, like, you know, I've got a light in my office and I know how to turn it on and I know how to work the light. And do I know all the things that have to happen to get that electricity, that light? Nope. I know some of the things, but I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I'd probably shock myself, but I know how to turn the light on. So I don't know all the molecular activity and the energetic stuff and the protons and the electrons and all that stuff, quantum physics, that has to take place for me to put that law in action, or for the, you know, the world or this energetic field that we live in to put it into place, but I know how to use it. And that's what I've mastered. So when I say I know I'm going to achieve a goal, because I know how to turn the switch on. I know exactly how to get into that state of being of flow, get into that state of being success and freedom. And I know that what, you know, the reason we offer a money back guarantee is because we're working with the science of the mind. It's absolute. We know now, as long as we get the people on the call, as long as they're listening to the recordings, as long as they're applying what we're teaching them and communicating to us, there's nothing we can't get them through. And I look at Lisa D. She said June 1st, 2021. That was less than a year ago. Skeptical. Yep. But however, she never looked back. And I remember talking to Lisa, and I just saw her, the first draft of her testimonial from the live events. Wonderful. And so we've got 5 new ones, Zach and Kyle and Phil and Kelly, and then I'm missing one, but Lisa D, and then Pretty. And they're all wonderful. They're all amazing. But I remember Lisa D last June for her first few weeks. You guys remember this? Every time she got on a call, she talked about the chaos in her life. Talk about this happened and her car got sideswiped. Her car got sideswiped literally an hour before a coaching call with me. And I remember telling her, like, well, Lisa, that's exactly what would happen to you right now because of where you are. How do you figure that? And now she's a master at it, right? And she's the welcoming committee. She's the encourager. She tells everybody, like, you've got to do this program. But and now she's got no chaos in her life. And boy, after decades of living, right, that we all do, and everything can completely transform, it's pretty magical. So good stuff. So Doreen, what would you say to somebody who's skeptical? Who's scared? Because I've answered these questions countless times, but thinks that they're hardwired, thinks that they've got a chemical imbalance, or because they've tried all these other things, and nothing has worked, or like Zach said in his testimonial. Zach said, I've read 200 books, and Zach's a guy that he could read 200 books. He's a very successful, he's a very learned guy who is now tapping into success. It's fun to watch, but he was the self-help junkie. He read all the books, and he said in his testimony, this is the pro, put it all together, and it simplified it. Instead of all this hard programs like journaling and it all simplified it. So Doreen, what would you say to somebody who's skeptical, scared, thinks it's just that happiness, as Kate said, is an illusion? What would you say to those people?
What I'd say is you're right now, because that's where you're at. In order to get to where you want to go, you got to do something different. And you have to, perseverance is important. And I'm applying the work in my mind right now with this sun. I think I just shifted to the sun to do this.
I saw that. You look very angelic.
So it makes perfect sense that you would feel that way. That's where you are. But to get to where you want to go, you've got to do something different. And what you learn in this program gets you to the cause of your experience. Everything else you've studied before, everything else you've tried has dealt with the symptoms of what you're experiencing. If you look back on what you've read and you look back, you'll see it's all about symptoms, but it's never really dealing with the cause. And that's why this work is so special. And that's why when you look at the testimonials of everybody that goes through this program and what Mike just said about Zach, they got to the cause. And when you get to the cause, everything changes. It's like a domino effect. So what I would say to somebody who's skeptical is give yourself one more chance with us and let us get you to that point where you want to be, because we know you can do it. We've done it thousands of times. And, we live this work, we know this work, and you deserve it. You got to give yourself one more shot.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. And Kate, what do you say to somebody who doesn't think it's possible? Who says, yeah, this is my lot in life. This is who I am. I've got ADD. I can't focus. It's just who I am. I'm just shy, and I'm always going to be shy, or maybe I'm afraid to take action. What would you say to that person?
Understandable. You've been living in fear for a very long time, and this is what the mind will have us believing. But that's the part of the mind that's thinking it's protecting us and keeping us safe when it's actually keeping us stuck. So feeling that skepticism and taking action anyhow, that's the key right there. And with the money back guarantee, with the coaches that are here, and we are all here to tell you we've been through the work ourselves. There's nothing we haven't seen. There's nothing we haven't dealt with. There's nothing that this work can't address, because like Coach Doreen said, it gets to the core of what's going on, not just addressing symptoms. So naturally, there's going to be fear and skepticism. I had that too. But I knew that I was in a place where, regardless what was at stake, if I didn't take action, who was counting on me? And for me, that was my children, and any relationships that I was in, or also the people that I worked with. I thought about, if I didn't take action, it wasn't just about me, it was everybody else that I was impacting. And it's just a limiting belief to think that you can't be helped. That's something that you've habitually thought over and over and over, to your mind believing it and thinking that it's keeping you safe, when it's really just keeping you stuck, and we can help you get unstuck.
Love it. Absolutely, man. You said a lot of great things there, but that commitment to the people that they're counting on us, right? And I remember thinking that way back when, once I committed to this work, and I didn't commit to this work, I committed to finding an answer to my chaos. Mm-hmm. And I remember when my life was imploding and the walls were closing in, and everything was going backwards and downwards, and there was a new rock bottom all the time. And I'm like, I've got to solve this. I've got these 3 young kids that I made a conscious decision to bring into this world, who are counting on me. And these innocent kids that like, I've got to be the dad that I committed to being for them, or else their life's going to be a shit show. And I remembered, like it's like anything. If you commit to an employer or employees, right, or friendships or spouses or whatever, you make that commitment, man. You got to show up for that commitment. If you're operating at a low bandwidth, you got to fix the problem because there's people counting on you, and more people than you think. And I remember making that commitment, like it's not if I can solve this problem, I have to solve this problem. And I didn't have it all buttoned up in this nice little program, 8 weeks. And yeah, sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes it's much quicker. Like look at Kathy right now, right? Kathleen, she's just, week 4, it's like, oh my God, more business, more opportunities, more everything. In 4 weeks, it's just like a complete eye opener. And, but I knew I had to find the answer, and I didn't quit, and I still don't quit. But I remember the day that I woke up like, yeah, this is it. This is the formula, and I got it. And I've just been expanding on that the whole time. But I always kept, my kids, like they were my motivator to never quit, never give up. But I knew they they needed to go to college. I had to figure out a way to do it. They needed a cell phone, needed a car, whatever. I wasn't going to be that parent. So I just can't afford it. I just can't do that. No, I had to figure out a way to solve my shit and transform so I can give them the life that I promised that I'd give them. And that's a commitment, Kate. So we always have to look, like Kate said, to who's counting on us, what impact we'll have. And then just look at that. Look at the impact we've had on the world now, right? And not just because, patting ourselves on, but because this was our calling. This is what we're supposed to do. And if we quit on that, and I tell people, like when they come in the first week, like your first week vision of what you want your life to be by week 6, 7, 8, it's going to be completely different. And then a year from now, and we mentioned Zach. Zach's now performing music again and writing music, and he started his own, literally his own community and offer for his sound studio in Ohio, and he's crushing it. And 4 months ago, 5 months ago, he's afraid to record a song, and now look at that. And who knows where it's going to take him, right? We know it's going to be big. We never know how big. We got Phil. He's cracking the 100 million mark this year, and a year ago, we looked at 100 million as a joke. As like, that's not me. That can never be me. And it's amazing when you fix the cause, what the effect will do in your life. So really powerful stuff. And so, Ange, what are the 3 C's that we talk about in the program for our clients? Like, people say, can I do the work? And we say, yeah, but this is what we depend on. So what are the 3 C's?
Commitment to, doing the work, making your coaching calls, listening to the content. Coachability, listen to your coaches. They're the ones that have the expertise in this area, and there's nothing that we can't get you through. And then communicate. So we have different ways of communication throughout the program, but you always have access to your coaches. We can't help you though if we don't know what's going on. We need you to communicate with us. And those what we call the 3, C's for success. If you commit, you're coachable, you communicate, there's nothing we can't get you through.
Yeah, that's so true. We had Tony today. I had him on a call, and he's coming out of it. You guys will be happy to hear. He's had like 3 or 4 good days, and it's taken Tony, and I explained to him, I said, hey, 3.5 decades of struggle, the stuff that he's been through. And I said, but you'll start coming out of it. Now all of a sudden, he said, man, I was really productive for 2 of the last 3 days, getting stuff done, and like stuff that I normally would just blow off. And I said, beautiful. There. And so it begins. So now, and I saw all of you smile when I said that, because we're going to watch Tony go over the next month and what he's going to be capable of, and then giving him the dream life. So, all right. So one more question. We'll wrap it up. Kate, what's your favorite thing about this community and the work we do?
I would say that my favorite thing about this community and the work we do are just our clients. We have so many beautiful people coming in that are just coming out of their shell and living their best life, and miraculous things are happening. And they're just seeing things align with where they want to be and where they want to go. And we have so many lovely people that we're working with. And it's just really rewarding to go to live events, to interact with them. I love all of the ways that we touch our clients, whether that's through private coaching calls, Q&As, the recordings. We offer so many ways for them to interact with us. Boxer, we have so many different ways of touching our clients. And then I would say too, I also get to work with my dream team. Like if I were to write a job description for something that I would love to get up and do every day and be so excited for my feet to hit the floor and so much purpose and meaning in doing it, it's this work. And it keeps me immersed in this work 24/7. So I would say that, I mean, I could go on all day about my favorites, but our clients are amazing people. And they're people that want what we wanted, right, out of life. And it's to feel good and to live their best life. And then I see the ripple effect of that work in their lives and the lives of their families and their children and their work. And just to see that unfolding. And if everybody in the world were to show up like that, what a world this would be. And I think we're doing one person, one client, one QA call, one live event at a time, where we're just trying to keep expanding that here. So it's really awesome.
That's pretty freaking awesome. All right, Ange, you got to follow that up.
One favorite thing.
You're supposed to start with me, CM.
Well, it's funny because Angie left the Voxer today and to the group, our coaching team here, and she says, "Wow, Kate, wow." And because she had listened to something Kate did, and she says, "Holy cow, is that amazing?" And that's what that was awesome, Kate. So Ange, what do you love most about the work we do?
Again, a better question would be, what don't I love about this work? I love everything. I love our community. I love the relationships that are built within this community. We were talking about Phil earlier, and Phil, my man, he and I had a call today for business, completely outside of this, but we connected in this realm, and just the relationships are wonderful. Second is probably saving people's lives. We take people that feel like there's no hope, there's nothing else, that they're doomed to live in despair for the rest of their lives, and we teach them, and we coach them, and we work with them, and you see their lives just unfold beautifully. That's got to be, like Kate said, it's the most rewarding thing to be able to do that, to work with others and give others, impart some of the wisdom I gained through this whole process.
Love it.
And my team's not so bad. I think I keep you guys too.
Love it. Well said. And I can't see some of the names, so people are saying, "Hey, I could see Lisa D," but somebody says Facebook users have missed everyone. So I know if you're part of our community, we miss you too if we haven't seen you. So Doreen, what's your favorite part of the work we do?
I think, again, there's so many pieces of it, but I think when a client comes in, I try to hold the vision of them already being out of the 8 weeks, because that's how you create, right? So if I want my client to be successful, I hold that vision as much as I can. And then I love seeing them catch up to that vision.
Yeah.
And then, just working with this team, obviously, working with these amazing, former clients that are now coaches, and seeing how much they're helping people. This work has been in my bones for a very long time. And, I came from corporate America, and I couldn't even imagine going back to a corporate job when you can do work like this and really help a lot of people.
That's awesome. And you're angelic. With that light shining, sunshine. And I would echo what all of you said. The team that we get to work with every day, it's amazing. The work we do is amazing. And it's the people, like Kate said, like all of you said, it's like, man, I just picture them. A friend of mine asked me, he said a lot of times, he doesn't understand. He goes, "Man, how do you do what you do? How do you take people and work with them who are depressed, who are anxious, who are struggling, who are in hell? How do you do that every day? It's got to just drain you." I'm like, not at all. Like Doreen said, we hold the vision of where we're getting them. We know the life they're capable of. This is my responsibility, our responsibility to get them there. And I don't know why I tell Kelly all the time, as we were watching Dope Sick, I say, I don't know why that this was my calling, but I know it was my calling. I know with absolute certainty. I go to bed every night knowing that I'm an expert in this arena. I don't know why, because I can't do a lot of things really well. I mean, there's so many things I don't do well, but I knew I was destined for greater things. But I knew that once I, learned what I teach now, that I had a responsibility to be my best and I had a responsibility to everyone that's in our community, including you guys, to be my best. And that's my commitment every day, because I couldn't love our clients more than I do. And when I promise somebody, if I do a breakthrough call, that they come on the week 1 call with me, and I promise them we're going to get them healthy, I will do everything in my power to make that happen. And I will find you if you disappear. And I literally will. I reached out to a client today, and she says, you told me that, and you came looking for me because she disappeared for a week or 2, and she's back on track. And I couldn't love that anymore. I couldn't love our clients any more than I do. And I mean, I'm so grateful for every single one of them that has ever put their trust in me, our team, our program, our company. And I take that responsibility very serious. And that's what I love most. I've never, ever woken up one day in the last 10, 12, 15 years and say, I've got to do this today. It's like, I am so thankful I get to do this today. And I get to see the stories, and I get to watch the testimonies, and I get to see the breakthroughs, and I get to watch, when Kyle on his video said, man, Nicolette and I had a beautiful marriage before. Now, holy cow, I never knew it could be so good. That's the stuff, right? Or watching somebody reconnect, like Kelly Cooper said, you gave us our husband, my husband back. You gave the kids their dad back. You gave the kids, the grandkids, their grandfather back. And then the business, and what are they going to do? 100 million. And that's the best part of what we do. It's just, it's connecting with the people and helping them in their journey. And it's just so wonderful. All right, guys. So should we call it a wrap?
Call it a wrap. That was great. I had fun.
All right, Let's do this. We're going to do this more often. And so guys, if you want our help, if you want to learn more, and we're not doing this, this is our life, and we're going to help the people that want our help. And that's it. And if you want our help, and if you want to get out of that chaos and that hell, like Kate said, just reach out to us. Ashley will post a link below, and it's always around this group. You just schedule a call. We'll get you on a call. We'll determine if we can help you. In most cases, we can. And if you're committed and you get the 3 C's, like Angie said, we'll help you. Okay. So you guys will be doing some lives. Ashley's got a whole plan for you guys. So get ready. And so you guys see them live, maybe by themselves, maybe together, whatever. And Ashley already posted it. So team, I love you guys. And thank you for joining me for the last hour. And thank you for being part of this community. And clients, I love you guys more than you can ever know. And people in our community, introduce yourself, say hello, so we can fall in love with you too. All right, guys. Have a good Thursday, or have a good Wednesday or Tuesday? Tuesday.
The week's flying by.
I don't know how to turn this off, but we'll see. All right, talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.